Students, welcome back to English class. So dear students, what do we discuss in the last class? So the lesson, that is a huntsman and what? Animals, right? So the lesson we discussed is the huntsman in the cave of animals. So that was the lesson which we discussed in the last class. Dear students, as you all know that the lesson was very interesting. Hope you all have enjoyed and understood the lesson very well. Dear students, so today we are going to continue the grammar part. Got it? So the grammar part of the lesson we are going to see. So hope you all have understood the lesson very well. There is a man, okay, who live. He's a legend. He's a hero of the village, right? The lesson. And he used to hunt the animals and provide food to all the village peoples where he used to stay. Okay. And once what happens is there is a big cave which is covered. The cave is covered with a huge rock. So the sound of the animals will be coming out from it. And a man, he once tries to push the rock which is covered the cave, but whereas he could not do it. Once, while the students, not the students, his children will follow him one day to the cave. What happens is they will see the path, the way they follow his father, and the next day morning when they come alone, like two children will come without the father, they will they will move the big rock, right? And the animals which were there in the cave will come out rushing. And what happens? All the animals which were there in the cave will get out of the cave and they will go. So now father will tell the children that you made a big mistake, because now we have to struggle a lot. When the animals were there, I used to slightly open a small, like the rock I used to move a bit, and only one animal can come out of it. So when it comes, I used to hunt it, right? And I used to take the flesh of the animal to the village. Whereas now, when I was there, people they were not knowing they're hungry. Right now, we have to struggle for our food. So this is the moral of the story, right? Dear students, not moral, this is the story. So he will teach the village people how to hunt, how to preserve the food, each and everything, right? So this was the lesson. Now we are going to see the grammar part. Dear students, hope you all have read this word splash, which is very important. Got it? And the next is exercises part. You have the first following, read the following sentences and write true or false. Okay. Answer the questions in a sentence or two sentences. And the third might answer the questions in 5 or 6 sentences. So however, the notes will be sent to you. Okay, never mind. But I want you to read the word splash. Okay, which is very important. Okay. And you have to read the grammar part also. See, dear students, after each of the class, I will be giving you the homework, right? What is the homework which I will be giving you? I'll just let you know by the end of the class. And next is you have think and do. The grammar part starts now. Hot. Discuss the following in class. The huntsman taught his people to hunt, so to sustain and to conserve. It is good, right? huntsman, what he'll do, he will teach them, the people, the villagers, because when there were animals in the cave, he alone used to hunt them and provide food to the people. Whereas now there are no animals in the cave. There are no animals left over there. So what he has to do is, he has to teach the village people how to hunt animals, how to sustain it, andre ಕೂಡಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು and preserve, conserve. Okay? So that you have to discuss. It is very good, right? And the next is, you have is, the topic, next grammar is noun. What you have is noun and noun collocations. What you have is noun and noun collocations. Dear students, you have is noun and noun collocations. Here, what is the meaning noun and noun collocations? Noun is the name of a place, person or a thing. I have told you already. Okay. So noun is a name of a person, like might be Radha, Ravi, Mohan, okay, Shrujana, Chetana, Nirmala. Place, and might be car, cycle, okay, and name of a place like Goa, right, Malpe Beach, which we call the names, place ಹೆಸರು ಹೇಳುವಂತದ್ದು. Thing, table, okay, and you can say chair. So these are the things. And animals, yeah, as you all know, that cats, dogs, puppies, everything will come. So noun is the name of a place, person or thing. Noun collocations together. The word car park. See, I will just tell you one example. I am looking for a car park. Car park. Here I am looking for a car park. Idrali noun yavdu? I am looking for a car park. So car is a name of what? It's a noun, right? So it's a noun. And a park is the name of a place. So these are the noun collocations. See, the word car park in the sentence above is made of two nouns. So these are two nouns you have now. ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ನೌನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪಾರ್ಕ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಕೂಡ ನೌನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ನಾ ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, as I told you now, dear students, this nouns is a name of a place, person or a thing, right? So here it's a noun and this is a place, right? So the word car park in the sentence above is made up of two nouns, car and park. A collocation is two or more words that often go together. There are several types of collocations. The words action, movies, board games and rice pudding are made of two nouns each, hence are called noun collocations. Noun collocations means exactly it's of two or more words often go together. So often, so like nouns collocations andre ಎರಡು noun ಇರುವಂತದ್ದು. Might be one noun and one place might be, or one noun or one animal name will be there. So such types of words are called as collocations, noun collocations. Noun and noun collocations. I'll tell you once again, dear students, noun collocations are nothing but the word that comes together two or more than two times. Often, which comes often in a sentence. Okay, so you have one more example, that is, I'll just read it out. Tanvi loves watching action movies. So Tanvi, what she likes? Watching action movies. Right? One more example. We often play board games together. Right? we often play board games together. Hope you are getting my point, right? Okay. So here action and movies. So both are what? Name of a place, person or a thing. Animals. Movies. Okay, nouns. Which is been taking place. Got it? And board games. Rice pudding. So grandma made yummy rice puddings. So it's a common nouns. So together the nouns might be places, animals, things which comes together are called as noun collocations. Got it? Dear students, this was your first topic, noun collocations. So choose the correct noun given within brackets to form the collocation pair in the following sentences. Can you see this? Yes? Yes. See, you have the work here that you have to do it by yourself. I'll just tell you what you have to do by the end of the class. Dear students, I hope you all have got this noun collocations. So next you have is next topic you have is nothing, that is transitive and intransitive. What you have is, next topic you have is transitive and intransitive verbs. So next topic you have is transitive and intransitive verbs. Verbs are used to indicate actions or a state of being. Let's look at these two sentences. The verbs are in red. See, dear students. See. Arjun bought. Okay. Peanuts. Second one you have is the Prime Minister arrived. So here verbs andre, first let me tell you what is verb. What is verbs? See, verbs are used to indicate actions or state of being. Verbs ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಇಂಡಿಕೇಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅದು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ what it indicates is action. In the sentence, Rohan is playing. Rohan is playing. So what is verb here? Playing, action. What is he doing? He is playing. So it shows that Rohan is doing some actions, right? So verb is nothing but it indicates the action or a state of being, what it has been doing, what it has been done. Okay, so see, Srijana got up, okay, or Srijana bought oranges. Okay, so here what happens is bought are verbs. What she did, she bought. Okay, so here dear students, verbs are nothing but actions which you in the sentence ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಕ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಹೇಳುವಂತದ್ದು. Okay, that is which indicates actions or state of being. So here see, Arjun bought peanuts. In the first sentence, the verb bought needs something after it to complete the meaning of the sentence. Such a verb that needs an object after it is called a transitive verb. Dear students, what is transitive? Here two verbs are there, which is, that is, the first one is transitive and the second one is intransitive verbs. If transitive verbs andre ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, the verb bought needs something after it to complete the meaning of the sentence. See, Arjun bought peanut. In the first, the verb bought needs something after it to complete. Here, see, you can see the word bought here, right? So, Arjun bought. If I say you like this, see, Srijana bought. What is the meaning? It doesn't make sense, right? Srijana bought what she bought. If I tell like Srijana bought apples, Srijana bought oranges, Srijana bought grapes, Srijana bought books. So this gives the meaning. Alva? So transitive verbs antandre, the verbs that are like, which indicates, see, the verbs bought something which need, okay, something it to complete after, see, bought mele something it need, right? If I tell you, say like Arjun bought, if I don't tell you this, you can't understand it, right? So bought ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಏನೋ ಬೇಕಿದೆ, ಅರ್ಥ ಪೂರ್ಣ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪದ ಬೇಕಿದೆ. ಅಂತಹ ಪದಗಳಿಗೆ we call it as transitive verbs. Hope you are getting my point. And what is intransitive verbs? In the second sentence, the verb arrived can stand on its own without any object after it. Such a verb is called an intransitive verb. See, in this second sentence, the Prime Minister arrived. It is completed, right? So the Prime Minister arrived. So it is totally completed sentence. It's complete. So you don't need any object to put there in the sentence, right? You cannot write, or you don't want any object to write over the sentence. Like, see, the verb arrived can stand on itself. So it is completed and it can stand on itself. Whereas in the first sentence, see, Arjun bought doesn't give the sense, okay, and we cannot say it we cannot leave the sentence incomplete. It doesn't give the meaning, right? So Arjun bought peanuts. So you need some objects to be put in front of bought. See, Anita sings. What? Anita sings what? Very well or beautifully. Anita's voice. What voice? You need something, right? It's very melody. Alva? So sentence complete agake munde enadru ಒಂದು object ಬೇಕು. We need some object. That is called as transitive verbs. And whereas the second sentence here is intransitive. This is intransitive because it can stand on itself. Okay? So on its own, without any object it can stand. That sentence is called as intransitive verbs. Okay, so hope you are getting my point. Next you have is the great. See, in all the classes, dear students, you will be learning very, very, very nice topics which is based on grammar, right? So you all have to do that. You all have to read it very carefully. So the next year we are going to say is pronunciations. So pronunciation. See, pronunciation is very, very important. So here you are going to study silent letters. So in this we are going to study silent letters. So which is silent letters? G and N. So we are going to see the letters, that is G and N. English, English, English. English is a good language, okay, where if you can see, if you understand it very thoroughly, English is awesome. When you don't understand it properly, okay, you feel very difficult, right, students? See, as I will be giving you always the examples, dear students. One quick examples I'll tell you. See, okay, it is cat. Okay, and this is, see, it is, in Kannada we call it as cha, right? Okay. So what about this? So if it is cha, then why don't you pronounce this as chat? Okay, why will you pronounce it as like cat? This is chat and this is chop. So ilak cha, where why can't you pronounce here like this C is a C as cha? This is English. You should know English very well thoroughly. Okay. So here now we are going to see some letters, silent pronunciation. English has many silent letters. You have already come across some of them earlier. Read the following words aloud. Notice the silent G. Here, dear students, silent G we are noticing now. Okay. Here there are the words been given here. Okay. The first word is, how do you pronounce this as? A-L-I-G-N. And the next one you have is, okay. Next you have is, thus you will be pronouncing it like this. Align. G is silent. Design. We will not pronounce it designed. We will not pronounce it, right? Design. Region. Rain. We will not pronounce this word G. Foreign. We will not pronounce G. Align. Design. Right? We will never pronounce such words. I'll tell you. The letter G is silent if it is followed by either N or M. If it is the letter G, for example, G, A-L-I-G-M-E-N-T, alignment. ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಮತ್ತೊಂದ್ಸರಿ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. If the letter like in front of G, if you find like M and N are coming, so at that time the letters G will not be pronounced. I am repeating it again. In front of G, in any word, okay, any word, in front of G, if M or N is coming, then you will pronounce this G. That you should not pronounce this. Sorry. Okay, you should not pronounce it. Got it? And next you have a silent N. Hope you are getting my point, right? So next is, you have G word. Not G, sorry. N letter. So how do you pronounce N now? So how do you pronounce N? And see, the silent, even you have silent to this also. See, Iga, now you all have learnt G, silent G. Now it's turn to know about N now. Dear students, Iga, we have learned silent G. Whereas now see, autumn, column, solemn, autumn, column, solemn, column. What? You should not pronounce the letter N because it's silent. N is not pronounced when it comes after M at the end of a word. See, now, when you should not pronounce the letter N, because when the N comes, when N is not pronounced because when it comes after M aadmele, if the letter N comes, means you should not pronounce the letter N. Got it? So what you have to do is, when the M, after M the N comes, the letter N, if it comes, then you should not pronounce the letter N. So you have to keep silent the letter N and then you have to pronounce the words. Okay? Yeah. Dear students, so hope you all have understood this. Right? Now you have homework to do. What is the homework? The homework is, see, I want you all to write down few noun collocations like 5 sentences. Okay, 5 sentences at least you have to write. Noun collocations, 5 sentences. This is for homework. I will be checking it. And the second one you have is, what thing you have learnt in the second thing? That is, you have is intransitive and, see, transitive and intransitive verbs. Alva? See, these all will be checking. We will check this. Next you have is pronunciation. Like silent G and N. I want, see, I am telling you, noun collocations 5 sentences, transitive and intransitive verbs. That also I need 5 sentences. Pronunciation, G silent letter, words 5 and N silent letter, which has to be there in the word N and G. You have to write the silent letters. So this is the homework I want you to do and submit to the school. Okay. Hope you all have understood the grammar part of the lesson, dear students. The huntsman and the cave of animals. Right? I want you to read very well the whole lesson and the grammar part of the lesson. Okay, and you can see the grammar homework is also there in the textbook. After each grammar part, you have the homework. Fill in the blanks. You have to do this. I want you to do this also and the main work this also. Well, dear students, we'll meet in the next class for the next lesson or might be poem, right? So until that, take care.